defining moments in my God story.
My name is Kilpatric Davidson, and I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. Growing up in St. Louis was fun. It was fun. We used to do a lot of things like, play kickball and baseball. We had a little lot beside our house, so we used to do a lot of activities there. I used to be in a singing group, so me and my best friend, Daryl, just being in that singing group and doing different, singing gigs at school and things like that. St. Louis, it was a fun place.
My name is Deanna Davidson, and I was born and raised in Austin, Texas. Growing up in Austin, Texas was awesome. I am an only child, so I really enjoyed being an only child. I read a lot when I was a kid. I pretty much spent every waking hour I could outside and with something living.
I think the first time that I realized the existence of God is in 2005 when my younger brother, he passed away of cancer, and just the whole scenario around that. I mean, I was in Virginia and I was about to take a trip somewhere else for my job, and my father called me that evening. He was like, you need to try to get here. I mean, trying to get a plane ticket at the last minute, how do you get there, I was going from Virginia to St. Louis, but the Lord worked it out to where I was able to, at the last minute, actually get there and spend time with my brother before he passed away. And sitting there and seeing someone on the verge of death, especially someone that you love, it puts a whole new perspective on life, to see him take his last breath, and after that last breath, to see him and know that that person that's laying in that bed is no longer him. I mean, it makes you realize how temporal life is and how that there's more.
True biblical doctrine restrains and confines us like the tracks confine the train. Only when we discover God are we really free to go where we really should go without wrecking our lives.
When I was in sin, there was not a whole lot of things that I didn't get involved in. All kinds of perversion, from pornography to homosexuality, drinking, drugs. I was into a lot of things, and I know that I couldn't stop those things on my own because I tried to over and over again. I really wanted to be a father. I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to have a family, a real family. And when you're in a lifestyle like that, even though that's something you want, you don't see how you're gonna get there.
You can only sin so much. You can only fake so much. You can only pretend so much. There comes a point in everybody's life that they have to be truthful and honest for the first time with themselves to say, I am not who I'm pretending to be.
Only when the grace of God appears in our life do we experience freedom to be who God ordained us to be. Because a lot of times, if you would look and reflect in your life, you could never act upon the good that was in you until the grace freed you.
I am guilty.
I was one of the ones that the Lord had to lay flat on his back and to see that, you need me. You can't do anything without me. At my crossroad, I was diagnosed with a disease, HIV, and I thought life was like over, and I didn't think that. What do you do? Some people commit suicide when they get a diagnosis like that. It was a crossroad in different ways, because it was a crossroad where I knew that I needed the Lord and that he had to get me through that. And at that same time, he equipped me with everything that I needed the person who was my best friend at the time, and my fiance at the time, my wife, we actually went and got tested before we got married, and that's when I found out about my diagnosis. So at that crossroad where she could have like totally walked away from me, the Lord put it on her heart to stay with me and go through that situation with me. The way that I got saved is being diagnosed and having my diagnosis be a product of that sinful life that I was a part of. It made me see that there was a need for Christ. Like I couldn't do it on my own.
You plead my cause, you right my wrongs, you break my chains, you overcome.
I went to my pastor and I talked to him about it. I was really scared and everything, and I repented of that lifestyle that I was a part of, and my life totally changed. Those things that I couldn't stop doing, that I had become, the Lord just turned my life around.
You say that I am free, how can it be?
True freedom will lift you up from the valley to the mountaintop. God can salvage a messed up life for His glory. But the question is, do you really want to glorify God?
One of the things I love most about my husband, Patrick, is his honesty. My husband is one of the most honest people I've ever met in my entire life, and I love him for that. I never am concerned that there's anything hidden. I'm never concerned that there's anything that he hasn't revealed to me. It's a beautiful thing to have somebody who trusts you so much that they are willing to share everything.
I love my wife. She's beautiful. She completes me. She's everything that I needed and more. My daughter brings me joy every day. She's funny. She's crazy, and I love her to death. Now that I know the Lord, my whole perspective on life is different. It's not about going out and having sex. It's not about drinking. It's not about drugs. It's not about pornography. It's not about perversion. It's about living the way that Christ intended for me to live and giving Him glory in every opportunity that He gives me every day. Every time I wake up in the morning, it's an opportunity to glorify the Lord with my life and be an example and stand out from the way that the world does things today.
You saved me. You saved me. Was pulled from the wreckage of my life.